technology in 2025 because we know we'll be focused on that. Our next guest predicts the sector will be up 25% in the new year, spurred by the AI revolution. Some of his top picks are NVIDIA, Microsoft, Tesla, and Palantir. He's Dan Ives, Wedbush Securities Analyst. Dan, welcome for the final time this year. I'm sorry you're not here. I'm fairly certain in saying that you were the most frequent guest on CNBC during the course of 2024. We greatly appreciate that. And even more so, the fact that you largely have been right, Dan. You're going to be wrong one of these days, but it wasn't this year. Why don't you think it will be next year as you continue to be so incredibly bullish on so many different names in technology?
No, thanks so much for that. It's been awesome to be on the whole year. Look, to me, it's all about hand-holding investors through this AI revolution. And I think we're looking, in our opinion, this is still only the second inning of the 9-inning game. And everything we see from all of our spending is about the multiplier. For every dollar spent on Godfather of AI, NVIDIA, on those chips, there's a $8 to $10 multiplier across the rest of tech, which is why I continue to believe that tech stocks are going to be up 25% into next year. And it's only 10 p.m. in this AI party that goes to 4 a.m.
Right, and you've been saying that for some time. I think you may have moved us an hour later. I'm not sure along the way.
It started off at 9 p.m. Now it's 10 p.m.
Okay, it's 10 p.m. Dan, there is this question as to are investors going to start to demand to see a real return from all the investment that's been made, the hundreds of billions, frankly, that will have been invested and will be invested in the coming year as well by the hyperscalers, for example. Do you think that demand will be made and will it be met?
Look, that's been the big question. I think we started to see that inflection point with the message of Palantir. Because I think if you look at Palantir, that was the first one in the use case that we start to now see these things play out across enterprise. Then Salesforce, that was a huge moment where we saw from Benioff in terms of that last quarter. I actually think software is going to be the key. I think the use cases are expanding across the board. I mean, we have use cases and enterprises that we're talking to up 5x in terms of deploying AI and what I ultimately use cases even over the last 6 months. And I think that is going to be the key as this all plays out. Look, $2 trillion of CapEx, AI CapEx next 3 years. Fighting that is going to be tough, and that's what I continue to say. The bears can find AI in the spreadsheets. I get it. These companies have to execute. But execution's been there, and now it's going to be about the rest of tech. That's why we laid out. Those are the top 10 plays that we see for AI in 2025.
In terms of enterprise AI in particular, you think the two best software plays are Palantir and Salesforce. What are some examples of software companies that you are more doubtful of their AI potential?
Look, I think Adobe, you'd have to be a little more doubtful in terms of, what they can do. I think obviously still huge potential. I think when you look at, I think IBM's had a lot of success, but to me, it's really who are the ones proving it out. It's Palantir, it's Salesforce. I think it's MongoDB, it's Snowflake. I think Oracle's having a huge renaissance of growth. And then you're also going to see with Khan done at the FTC, you are going to see M&A skyrocket across tech. These big tech players are going to get stronger, and they're going to get bigger. And I think that's going to be a huge theme that plays out across 2025 as the strong get stronger.
Dan, just tell me why I shouldn't be concerned if I own Palantir that it trades at 50 times sales and that the insiders have been selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stock in the last 6 weeks and it's gone vertical and they keep trying to goose it by getting into different index. It just feels like a very promotional situation for an admittedly strongly positioned company that just seems like it's become a little bit of a cult.
Yeah, look, Mike, I definitely, bull-bear debate, it's almost reached Tesla-like sort of emotional bull-bear debate on Palantir. Look, to me, it's not about in the next year in terms of what this thing's trading at. I view it as, can Palantir be the next Oracle, the next Salesforce? If that's true, and I believe that's true, then this is a name that goes much higher from here. In terms of what you're talking about, I think that's why you got to focus on AIP, as they prove out this sort of enterprise use cases, and can this be something that expands to ultimately 30-40% of this overall revenue? I think that's the key. But I don't get too caught up in some of the noise. I just focus on all of our checks, and that's why Palantir, look, The haters, they hate it as a teenager as a stock, despise it as a senior citizen. And I think this is a stock that has potential to be 3 digits and higher.